guys, this is Shannon from Skip to My Life. On today's episode, I'll show you how to decorate the outside of your house for fall so your neighbors will be jealous. Let's go. If you love to live an upscale lifestyle on a downsized budget, I am here for you at Skip to My Life. Well, summer's officially over, so I'm taking down the summer decorations and getting ready to make a wreath for the outside of our small home. Now we're going to start by using a bag from Home Goods, and you can find these beautiful kinds of bags at all kinds of discount stores. Next, I'm removing the outer covering from a small hula hoop from Dollar Tree, as well as those rattly contents inside. I don't have a name for those, but if you all know what they're called, let me know. And then it's simply a matter of hot gluing that hula hoop to the bag that I cut out from the Home Goods store. Today I'm collaborating with my friend Heidi Sonboul at Heidi Sonboul DIY, and I'm going to attach the fall playlist for all those that are taking part in her fall video challenge. So don't forget to go to the next creator and you will have so many wonderful fall ideas. After that bag is glued to the inside of the hula hoop, I'm simply cutting away the excess, and then I am gluing on the outside of that hula hoop frame some greenery from my stash. Now this doesn't have to be anything fancy. Something that looks kind of like fall is great, but you could use whatever pleases you. I'll bring out the orange from those pumpkins with some simple flowers from Dollar Tree. Now I'm just going to take the tops off of these stems, and you'll see me glue gun them on that frame in groupings of 3. If you're looking for some weatherproof decor for your outside fall DIYs this year, I highly suggest looking for some of these shopping bags because they are laminated and they will withstand the weather. Make sure you watch all the way to the end of this video because I'll be giving you a big reveal on how I put all these pieces together. We have a very narrow entryway to our small home. So if you have that problem too, I want to give you some tips and hacks on how to create a spectacular DIY fall outside display. And if you're having fun watching this video so far, don't forget to let me know by giving me a thumbs up. As you can see, the entrance to our small home is quite narrow, and when people approach our door, they actually approach it from facing that wall. So I wanted to create a custom fall DIY swag for our entryway, and I started by cutting this pool noodle to fit exactly. Next, I cut 5 long pieces of floral wire, and I'm going to be threading those at intervals along this pool noodle. Now we're going to want one in the middle, one on both sides, and then one halfway through each of those. And I did this by taping the floral wire to the point of a shish kebab stick and then poking that shish kebab stick firmly through the middle of the pool noodle. Once the wire has reached the other side, I snipped it off at the end, and I went ahead and removed the shish kebab stick, and then just repeated the step again. So no matter what size your pool noodle, you can make this work to fit your entryway. Today I'm taking part in Heidi Sonboul DIY's Fall Challenge. So I am going to be inserting her Fall Challenge playlist in my description box, and I encourage all of you to click on that for more fall inspiration. Now we're simply going to take a $1 oblong table cover from Dollar Tree, and we're going to cut that into 3 different long strips. Now make sure when you do this, you're cutting along the length of the table cover and not the width. The goal is to get some very, very long strips, and we're going to use this to fill in the base for our garland. Next, we'll attach the table cover strips with the wire that we threaded through our pool noodle. Now you'll want to create little poofs along the way, as you'll see me doing. And the way that you do this is going to be completely up to you. Some people like it fuller than others, but you'll just have to trust your gut and go with what looks the best to you. And so, my friends, we are only $2 into this project and it already looks amazing. This is not a high price fall DIY at all, but I think that it makes a huge impact and for sure will stop traffic in your neighborhood. If you're new to Skip to My Life, welcome. I am so glad you checked us out over here. And I would love it if you subscribe to my channel so I can bring you even more DIY home decor and small space organizing. Now I continue the process with the other strips and I am just going to fill this in. You will see as you watch this how important it is to have those longer size floral wires. So don't skip on the floral wire when you thread that through, or you will be sorry when you start adding all these layers. Next, I'll add a full roll of the Deco Mesh from Dollar Tree, and I chose the color orange. Now, I am making this garland fairly neutral for fall. I might add some things as we get closer to Halloween and Thanksgiving, but for now, I just wanted it to have a real fall appeal. Not only did I add the Deco Mesh to the length of this garland, but I also cut smaller strips and attached them at each intersection. Okay, comment below and let me know if you are loving the Dollar Tree ribbon this fall. I love this candy corn themed Deco Mesh ribbon, and so I did the same thing with that and just filled out this fall wreath. Now I'm adding 2 of the leaf garlands in the same way, just using that florist wire to attach them. And I'll finish it off with some of this wired ribbon from Dollar Tree in these fall chevron patterns. Now you can definitely use what you already have. There's no need to go out and buy a whole bunch of supplies and spend a lot of money. But if you are going to use one of these ribbon rolls from Dollar Tree, I found that it was best to unwind the whole roll, cut it in half, and that made a really nice size bow for this garland. I am making an Olivia bow, and this is from Olivia's Romantic Home. If you have not checked out her channel, I encourage you to do that. I also have a bow tutorial that's attached to this video. Hey, if you're a long-time friend of Skip to My Life, welcome back. You all mean the world to me. I read each and every comment, and I feel so thankful and blessed to have you all here. Now that this DIY fall garland is looking the way I wanted, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the ends of those tablecloths, but we're going to save those for the next project, so don't put those in the trash just yet. And make sure that your floral wires on the back are very, very secure. For our third and final DIY fall decor for our outdoors, I'm going to use these 3 wooden pumpkin signs from Dollar Tree, and I started by spray painting them with some white base paint. Now, as I am decorating these, I am loving burning this bourbon pecan pie candle from Walmart. It smells delicious. So if you're looking for a discount fall candle, I highly recommend it. So one of my tips for really stopping traffic with your outdoor fall decor is to choose some unusual fall colors. And I am taking my tips from that bag, and we're going to start by painting this pumpkin navy. Now I do make my own chalk paint by just using acrylic paint and mixing diatomaceous earth, which is a soil additive. I'm going to do the same by making up some orange gold paint for the second pumpkin. Another tip for having the cutest house on the block is to do some of this larger scale art. Generally, the smaller scale types of graphics get lost when you are using them to decorate the outside of your home. You want the subtle patterns inside your home, but when it comes to decorating the outside of your house for fall, you want things that really make a splash. Now you may have guessed it by now, but we are creating a 3-pumpkin topiary for the outside of my front door. And we're gonna mimic the pattern of the pumpkin on my bag by creating a little checkered pattern on this navy pumpkin. So I always have a question of the day in my videos, and today's question of the day is, where have you found the most adorable shopping bags? I know Dollar Tree has carried some. I found this one at Home Goods. Tell me your favorite spot to find these adorable decorator shopping bags. Now, every pumpkin needs a stem. So if you're like me and you feel a little bit insecure about your drawing and painting skills, I go ahead and trace a stem on there with some chalk first to make sure it looks the way I want it. And then I'm just filling it in again with some of that acrylic brown paint. Now, friends, I am by no means a masterpiece artist, so I kind of developed this little shading technique myself, and I'm sure that you can improve upon it. But I used that brown paint, and I used a dry brush technique on the bottom third of the pumpkin. Then on the top 2/3 of the pumpkin, I used another dry brush technique with some white paint to add some shading and make it look like it's a little bit more three-dimensional. Don't forget to watch all the way to the end of the video because I'm going to be putting together all 3 of these adorable projects to make a traffic stopping DIY fall decor. Now the second pumpkin I had painted an aqua color blue, and we're going to do the reverse pattern on this pumpkin. So the first pumpkin was a navy with light blue accents. The second pumpkin is going to be the light blue with navy accents, but the technique is exactly the same. If you're having fun watching this video, don't forget to let me know by clicking that thumbs up button. Today, I'm participating in my friend Heidi Sonboul's DIY fall decor playlist, so don't forget to click on that link in my description box. The third pumpkin in our topiary is going to be a complete contrast, and it will go in the middle of the other 2. So to make this one, we're just going to paint the top half of that pumpkin white with white chalk paint, and then we will add some orange polka dots using a round sponge brush from Dollar Tree. Now this really got my creative juices flowing, and I started thinking of all different color combinations for these pumpkins. So I hope that you all take this as a template and just go to town and make up your own ideas. The rest of this third and final pumpkin is going to be very similar to the other 2. We're just going to shade the bottom third of the pumpkin with that dark brown and then come up with the white highlights on top. This is the fun part we've been waiting for. We're going to get to build that topiary, and we're going to put those together with both E6000 and hot glue. Now these pumpkins will go outside in my covered porch, but I wanted to show you how I weatherproofed them. Once I have them glued together as I wanted them, I will be attaching them to this regular old wooden garden stake. You can see I used it in my garden this summer. I went ahead and hot glued an E6000 the stake to the back of the topiary. Then I attached it with some of that deco mesh ribbon to the back. Now the ribbon just adds a little bit of extra reinforcement to keep this piece more stable in the outdoors. And finally, I'll cover the back of this topiary with some waterproof tablecloth that I just cut to fit the back. And I'm going to hot glue this and E6000 it to the back of that final topiary. All the ideas I'm showing you in this DIY fall decor video today are really neutral. So if you don't love decorating for Halloween, or if you just want to transition from the summer colors into the fall colors, these are great suggestions for you. To top it off, I'll add some paintable polyurethane to the top of that painted surface. And I actually found this brand in what's called the Boneyard of the Mismatched Paints at the hardware store. I recommend that you look there first. I loved working with this. It was water soluble and it covered really nicely. The base of the topiary will be just a plain Jane old black bucket from Dollar Tree. We'll remove the handle. This will become the pot for our topiary. And to maintain that stake that the topiary is on, I'm going to hot glue a little piece of pool noodle to the bottom of that bucket. Next, we'll secure this really tightly in there with some heavy rocks, both in front and in back, to make sure that that topiary is weatherproof and it stands up to the elements. Now, the little black bench that this topiary is sitting on is one that I found on the curb on trash day, so make sure you keep your eyes open for things like that. Remember, I told you to save the ends of that plastic tablecloth, and we're using that to camouflage the rocks, and also adding some ribbons and some floral greenery. Okay, here's the moment you've been waiting for, the big reveal of all three projects in my tiny home entryway. Now, I think this will stop traffic, and most of all, I think it will add a little bit of cheer to my neighborhood, which is really what I was going for. So don't forget to let me know which of these is your very favorite, and don't forget to click on the link to Heidi Sonboul DIY's Fall Challenge playlist. Till the next time I see you, please remember, today is not the end of your story. Don't you quit. Until next time, this is Shannon from Skip to My Life.